So hello, viewers and or listeners. Welcome to the Motorcycle Podcast Roundtable, where we have Chuck and Todd from New Wheel Nerds and no one else of any consequence whatsoever.
Some lesser shows showed
Thank
up.
you and good night.
Bite me.
Now we have Steve from the Cafe Racer Podcast, Joanne, the gear chick from Motorific. Please hold your applause until the end. We've got Ted from the Motorcycle Men.
Hey.
Kevin from a podcast that's completely slipped my mind.
The Throttled Podcast.
The
You're terrible.
I've never talked to Kevin before. This is my first time.
This is the first
terrible.
time. This is the first time. So
We're missing a couple folks that couldn't make it out tonight. They are sorely missed. But I wanted to get us all together and talk about the show season because that's pretty much where we're heading into now that the weather's getting a little worse.
See, I don't know. I don't see it as the slow season. I see this as the season where suddenly all the guests you try to get are like, well, I'm not doing anything. I'm basically just sitting at home drinking, so I'd be happy to talk to you.
I said show.
Oh.
As in the motorcycle shows like the AIM Expo and the International Motorcycle Show. They're all. We just finished AIM and IMS is tearing into its season now.
I don't get to go to those. So
Yeah, no one cares. Nobody cares about you at all. I feel I should tell you this as your friend.
You guys want to go off someplace by yourself and beat each other up?
Speaking of, Todd, your friendship check for the month is late.
Oh, wow. That hurts.
Steve and Kevin, right, were at AIM Expo recently.
yes.
So could one of you two just start off and tell us what you guys saw and what you thought was super cool?
Well, I was there only on the last day, so I think Steve would probably be a better person to tell you what
You
actually
missed the
happened,
media
but
day?
the new- Yeah.
That's
I
like
had
the
to work
best
it into.
thing.
I had to work it into a family vacation, so it was kind of the blackmail of if I'm going to Orlando and AIM's happening, I'm going that first day we're down there. So I pulled it off.
What was the crowd like Sunday, Kevin?
It really wasn't that bad.
Which is not a.
I mean, I'd say probably what you experienced on Friday, from what the vendors were telling me.
Because it was dead on Friday.
And I mean, it right when it first opened, it was heavy. Of course, the demo area had a ton of people out there, but inside it would kind of, around lunch it picked up. I think everybody came in and would kind of everything. But for the most part, it was. I would say there was plenty of people there, but it wasn't crowded by any means.
Yeah, so we went. Spencer Hill from the Gear Dude flew in, and we went Thursday and Friday and left. We didn't actually go to the show Saturday. We left Saturday morning to drive back to South Florida. But the experience we had, the media hub. I don't know if you've ever been when they have the media hub. It was a lot better this year than it was the subsequent year, the years before. But
It wasn't just a room in the corner that people generally ignored?
no, they had like a bunch of presentations, and the really good one was the presentation for EICMA. They had like the Italian tourism company like sponsor a big lunch and everything. So it was really great with the
Oh, wow.
yeah.
fancy.
But Kawasaki pulled out at the last minute. I think it's the last year probably.
Sorry.
There was no EBR, and I was going to make up a big story, Chuck, and lie to you and tell you that I got to ride this secret.
That would have been so good.
Well, that's the
good
thing.
it was.
EBR is saying they're going to be at the IMS Long Beach. That's pretty much the whole reason I am going this year to IMS is because EBR is going to be there. Eric's supposed to be there. Eric and EBR are doing some kind of demo ride day the day before IMS at Highland, California, I think.
I actually posted something on Instagram on that. It was that was floating around from EBR's Instagram page.
Mhm. So they're supposed to be there and talking about whatever their upcoming Black Lightning whatever thingy is.
Well, press them on the AX too.
I'm gonna press him up. I'm gonna press up against Eric. Don't worry. I'm gonna be all up in that.
And then you get hauled out by security.
Totally worth it.
So one thing I wonder about the AX, because there's all these 160 horsepower, 170 horsepower adventure bikes coming up. They're all covered with computers that keep them from going too fast. Buell doesn't have those. All the Buells have the let's just fucking rock.
They've
set
got the mode select, and that's about it.
Todd, the way the Buell works is it's linear. So like on the KTM 1290, mine's 163 horsepower. If you take off the traction control on that thing, it rips. I mean, it'll wheelie in 3 or 4 gears. But the traction control on it's pretty tame. When we rode the EBR, the traction control is linear, so it's like there's no set steps in it. It's just kind of a thing that goes from 1 to 20, and it's you can set it anywhere within that range.
Oh, interesting.
Set it to 0, you're going to have, if they keep the AX like that, if they use the same system that they had in the SX and the RX, yeah. It would be, on the KTM, for the traction control, it's either on or off.
Sure.
But
Okay.
on the different modes, the sport mode and the street mode, still you get all the horsepower, just the throttle delivery is a little bit different. And the off-road mode and the rain mode drops you down to 100 horsepower, and they both have different levels of traction control on the rear.
Drops.
Yeah. Could you say drops
no.
you down to 100 horsepower again, but say
Oh
it's
God, not enough, dude. More, please. What are you gonna do with all of it? It's like, who needs that? Who needs 100? Like, what are you gonna do with that in the dirt? Nothing. Like, yeah, unless
You're
you're like,
slow. Auger the back wheel in is what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna dig holes.
pretty much, you'll dig your own grave with all
That's
that.
where I'm putting the
horsepower.
bodies.
Jimmy Lewis or Chris Berg.
Yeah, those are the only guys who can handle that kind of power. Sorry, dudes.
I think I was pushing maybe like 30. Dirt.
I am not expecting to see an AX at IMS, even though they just have like a mention of it on their website.
What's this lightning thing you're talking about? I didn't see it.
A trademark notice went out that they applied to trademark the term black lightning. So and the last thing they were hinting at was something low and mean looking. So everyone's thinking, or the rumors are it's going to be like some sort of sport cruiser like the Diavo.
And it's actually just going to be called the Fuck You Harley.
Yeah, the fuck you the EBR FU 1000.
I like it. That's a naming convention.
Wait. It could be the FUHD, and it sounds like a Harley naming scheme.
Holy
A screaming eagle.
So speaking of FU Harley, did you see that? The Scout, the Indian, that the dirt tracker that they had in Standard Moto-Co's booth?
No.
$300,000 worth of handmade.
Wow.
Parts.
What?
Oh, you should.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was specifically to beat Harley on the flat track circuit, on the big ones, the big bikes, a mile.
On the track or in the price?
On the it's not made for consumption. It's a complete race bike built from the ground up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Is flat track racing even that big to warrant that kind of investment?
Oh yeah, it's packed. I mean, you come to a flat track race in Daytona, it's packed.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's a small track in Daytona too. That's not a big. It's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I've never been. That's they're starting to actually think about building a couple smaller tracks around my area, and I'm hoping they actually put in a flat track to kind of get some other stuff going on. So, kind of something I'd like to start kind of keeping up with and seeing, especially if that happens, go and visit a couple of those kind of events.
Flat Track still own, AMA Pro still has that, and that's still the France family. And they actually, the old man was there talking to Jason Paul Michaels for Standard Motorcycle Co. when I was there. So they're trying to expand that series and get even more people to come see flat track racing.
Well, this could be so much more fun to watch.
It is fun to watch, and it's really kind of visceral because, like, when you're standing next to the track and the bikes are going around, they're throwing dirt up onto the grass. It's really kind of cool, and it's loud, and it's kind of like watching NASCAR for motorcycles. It's in a circle, but it's a lot of fun. And I saw some test video of this Indian going around the track, and it was pretty neat. So that'll be cool. It's going to give Harley a run for their money.
Did Harley have anything at AIM?
No,
Nothing new, or did they even have a booth?
no demo rides.
Really? They didn't even
Nothing.
not even showing off their new engine or anything?
Nope.
Wow.
I think some of this might have had to do with the fact that the hurricane kind of screwed plans up. I mean, it screwed my plans up to go to Overland X. So
Mm-hmm.
Harleys do catch a lot of wind, so you can't just take them there.
Well, it takes them a long time to put all the bikes back in the dealership when it starts to rain. So,
Oh,
Sorry, Harley listeners. We apologize.
Not
I
sorry.
apologize for them.
For
Not sorry.
you know, I'm the only.
sorry, not sorry.
Can't call people for liking what they like. Come on now.
Yeah, Ted's our Harley scapegoat for the evening.
We do
We
have a
forgive you,
Harley,
Ted.
a cruiser representative here.
Don't worry, I'm as much of a hater as you all too, but I'm just trying to be really nice this session. That's all.
No way you think, Joanne. So
Well, it's probably because the last Harley I rode was horrific. I had to sit on the tank.
it was
that bad.
obviously the wrong one.
Was it the street?
Terrible. It was a dyno wide glide, and my legs are so short. I had to sit on the tank to get to the shift lever, the
Oh,
brake lever.
oh
That's
God.
right.
I
But
hated
also-
the Dynamite Glide too.
Yeah, but
So
also the
it's not
speed.
just you.
Yeah. I'd give it another shot if I had the proper Harley. I think it'd be great. Sure.
You know, any of the Dyna-Series, they're just they're too big. They're sportsters. That's all they're just big sportsters. They want to
Well,
be.
my issue with cruisers in general is just the sitting position. My tailbone is and my hips scream. They don't want my feet up like that. They want my knees low.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if they would make stuff that was more real mid control, it would be more something I would look at. But every bike you sit on with forward controls, I'm like Joanne, man. My tailbone kills
My
me.
hip. Yeah. If I weren't so old and I didn't have these joint issues, I probably would enjoy it quite a bit. But
John, you just need to do more deadlifts.
I'm trying, dude. Chuck, I swear, I've
Deadlifts.
come a long way. I really
Those-
have come a long way.
That'll strengthen up your whole core and your lower back muscles.
It's better. It's definitely better than like 5 months ago, but I still have issues from an accident I had in 2009.
Mm.
So I think it goes deeper than that. So I'm gonna see an ortho next week about my shoulder.
Oh, I had to do
knows?
I had to do the rotator cuff
Yeah.
surgery on my shoulder.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. We don't.
So I could see Chuck and Joanne coming out with a spinoff podcast from their shows, WODs for Riders.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just open that coat. Cramp! Ow!
No cramping. No, that's not how workouts go. No,
That's my Popeye arm.
no. Telling you, I'm a wimp. I'm a CrossFit wimp. I'm not hardcore like Chuck over there.
I don't do CrossFit. I can't handle that.
Or just lifting, and I'm
Lifting,
not.
yeah.
I'm not there. I'm weak.
I'm not social enough for CrossFit. Not too much
Dude,
of a sense rope.
Today, I sat on a 2017 Multistrada Enduro, and that sucker has the 19-inch front wheel and the 17-inch rear. So much so that it looks like it's up on the front is up on a box.
Little pedestal.
I got my left foot down fine on the side stand. I could not get it righted. It was so top heavy. Like, this is like a big wheelbarrow. I'm
On a
never doing
pedestal,
that.
as all Ducatis
Oh.
should be.
It was awful. I'm like, man, that's fine. I don't need them.
Imagine that, Joanne, that same bike with about 20 degrees more lean over on the hand. Because when I went trip, I got Kurt Forget sent me the dash plate for the 1290, and they have a side stand relocation kit for it.
Oh no.
And the company that made the plates cut them wrong, so the side stand was too far forward. I got a hernia on that.
Is that what caused it?
Worse, I don't think it caused it. I think I probably had it before that, but trying to kick that bike over from the side, like way
No.
over. There's actually a couple pictures of all our bikes leaned over, and the 1290 looks like it's ready to fall over.
At least your
Yeah.
bike finished.
Yeah, well,
Just saying. At least your bike managed the entire time that you were riding it.
if we wanted to. We could have just left the Ural there, and you could have jumped on the back.
Oh God. If that happens, please take a picture. Thanks.
Of me broken down, you won't have to wait long.
There's
No,
plenty.
and
Oh my God, actually,
If I had to count on my hand all the trips I'd completed successfully,
like fun trips? What are you talking about? Like iron butts? What?
anything longer than like a day.
3 days. That's the max you've ever done is 3 days?
no 3 trips.
3 trips? You've only done
Maybe.
3 trips?
3
That-
successful trips.
Are you
That
serious?
completed without me calling a tow truck.
Really? God, what? Are you like cursed? Like what?
Yes,
Crap,
I'm
dude.
cursed.
He's completely cursed.
I am
You
very
must be.
cursed.
Wow.
I'm super cursed.
What that guy charged you for the
I
tow?
should never ride with you then. I'm good.
$1,000 for that tow? The tow? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But my insurance company reimbursed me for that, so it's okay.
I don't
What
think
screwed me was the repair.
I don't think Chuck is cursed. I think he has just maybe bad decision making habits.
Maybe, yeah, it's possible.
Just
Well, look at who I do a podcast with.
See,
That's not his fault that your trips aren't successful. Come on now.
It's not his fault that my trips aren't successful. No, but it's his fault in a lot of other things. You could say that my whole thing with Buell is his fault.
that is totally true. But
Wait, Buell has other issues. They're really back, right? I just every time I hear a different story, so I never know what to believe.
the sense we got was really back. Some of it is I love Eric to death, but having a business person running the business and letting him build really cool motorcycles is probably a good thing.
The best thing.
Yeah.
Letting him get in front of the camera and do his like crazy hypnotoad thing where if you talk to Eric for like more than 5 minutes, you're like, I have to buy a Buell now. Now I need.
Is it still like foreign investment of some sort?
No. Now they're owned by They're owned by the liquidation company that bought them at auction.
He hypnotoaded them.
Wow.
He-
Is that the story? They're going to actually sell motorcycles?
Mhm.
They are selling motorcycles. You can go to their website and order one of the SXs or an RX.
Is that old?
What about?
No, it's new inventory. You put down a deposit and they build you a bike.
Oh crap! That's probably what
Essentially-
Black Lightning is. It's
No.
the new RX plus, like the RX with carbon fiber and that. It's all black. That's
And-
probably what they're gonna stick Black Lightning on. That's
Maybe
boring.
that'd be pretty easy to do instead of coming out with a whole new model.
Oops, sorry. What if like something happens to it? Like I don't know, you need to fix the valves or something. How do you get that?
They are building a dealer network again.
There's also a road
Hammer-
tax, so you can get bits and pieces. You know what you can do is you go to Steven's house and you just steal parts.
No,
and
but-
stick-
But what if you're not like parts and you don't know anything about fixing this bike? Like
steal the whole bike, and you just find the parts you need later at your leisure in your own
Or
garage.
maybe you just go to the Yamaha dealer and you buy like an FC10 or something.
No, I'm going to buy an EBR. I'm telling you right now. After riding one, I drank the Kool-Aid.
If I could get someone to buy my Turbo Triumph, I would buy an SX tomorrow.
Joanne, you need a Turbo Triumph.
Do I want to know what you did to it? No, I don't. I have the perfect bike. I'm good, thanks.
I bought it that way.
What do you mean turbo? What does that mean?
It means
mean
it
it's
has
turbo.
a turbocharger. It's a Triumph
God.
Sprint with a turbocharger.
Does it have like a stretched swing arm too? Like what
No,
else?
it
What
looks
other-
completely stock. It is
Uh-huh.
you have no idea what that bike is capable of
It's okay. I don't
until-
need it. I don't
until you just looking at it. It looks like a stock bike.
Okay, see, that's where like me as a female differs very much so as like most of the males who ride out there. I don't give a shit. Sorry, I just don't give two shakes about turbo. I'm happy with my 100 horsepower. And we had a Sprint. We actually had a 01 Sprint for about 2 years, and
That's
it
what
was
this is. It's a 2001. It's an 01 Sprint.
No, we got the newer version. You know, the man's got a speed triple he's in love with, and I got my street. I'm good. Thanks a lot. Thanks for thinking of me, though.
So speaking of Triumph, though, and shows, have you guys seen at the shows any of their new, old? I don't know.
What,
the new
the-
same bike, slightly improved, but totally
the-
looks old. Yo,
the Thruxton R kind of thing.
the Thruxton.
Street Ace, the little Street Ace thing.
Yeah. What?
The Triumph was Triumph at AIM.
No.
No, they weren't.
Who the fuck was at AIM?
Not a lot. You had Suzuki, Yamaha, KTM, BMW.
That wasn't even BMW. That was a local.
Oh yeah, that was a local dealer, wasn't it?
Street
Yeah.
car.
BMW didn't even make it.
Well, BMW
Yeah.
corporate had the demo ride outside, and I did a
Okay.
ride,
Yeah.
not inside. And I kind of talked to them, and they were like, "We feel, which I agree with. We feel it's better to be out here, actually having people test ride bikes."
Hmm.
And everyone that worked that demo truck, different than all the other trucks usually have local dealer people supporting them. These were all corporate factory people at the demo. It
Well,
was,
I mean,
I
Yamaha
did
and
see some
Kawasaki have
Triumphs.
factory people doing their demos. It's
Yeah.
usually their
though, because
traveling show.
yeah, that's the same week and as like Oktoberfest, and there's a big BMW Triumph dealer in Daytona that they might have been there doing it, because I know Ducati's done that there a couple times too. With their,
Sounds like this year's AIM Expo was really scaled down.
it's really funny because we got Spencer and I were talking to some people, and the complaints we got from the vendors were there's not enough dealers from around the country here. There's just too many local dealers.
Right.
And then my wife's cousin's the GM for Interstate Honda in Fort Collins, and he was complaining that they couldn't get anyone to talk to him. That they would go by, manufacturers, and people were kind of ignoring them and not really. It was really weird. We got this lot of the vendors and the dealers.
Joanne, stop stretching.
Oh, sorry. My dog was whining at me, and I wasn't sure what he was going to do. Sorry, just double checking.
Punch your head off or something like that.
I just wasn't sure if he was going to pee on my carpet, so I want to make sure you have to go outside.
Anyway,
Small man, just like all of you.
The hurricane didn't help AIM at all this year. It really benefited Barber the week before, but because there was a lot of people who were going to AIM that ended up just not going to AIM as far as attendees going, that ended up just going to Barber. And a lot of people from Florida and that the whole East Coast just kind of came in last minute. So, and that I did see a lot of Triumphs, but they're classically styled Triumphs. You almost can't pick them up out of a lineup with the new ones because they look no different in some aspects.
Well, that's kind of the goal, I guess, right? It totally looks like the old bike, but we swear it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
We swear, please, for the love of God, buy them.
The build-offs that you saw there on the some of the classic Triumphs are pretty cool. Rat rods were kind of the hit this year at that show. Just to kind of throw that, you had a lot of patina and things like that.
Are the hipsters moving to rat rods? Is that happening?
More of the custom designers are getting out of the fiberglass.
Whatever they can buy that's cheap, that's what they're going to buy. And if the rat rod's the cheap thing right now. I was more interested in the Moto Guzzi Stornello. I kept drilling on that thing the whole time. That was really cool. And I read it. I wish they would have had a demo ride there. I would have been all over that. But if you look at the V9s, Kevin, they're supposed to be their like Sportster kind of thing.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at any of their stuff.
They were in the Piaggio booth, with the Aprilia and Vespa and all that. And they had the two V9s there, the Bobber and the Roamer. And I don't know, I was kind of underwhelmed sitting on. Kind of
Triumphs are kind of like, I like looking at them, but I'm a larger guy, and to me, I'm like, a little bitty bike. It's just nothing that I would be comfortable. Nothing I'd be comfortable on. I mean, there's the Tigers and things like that, but when you come to these more classically styled bikes, which is about all you're seeing, and the Explorer to me is just extremely heavy. So I mean, and I've got a Tenere, and I'm saying that. So I mean, it feels way more top heavy than it should be, and
it is. It's really top heavy, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let's cover that real quick. So you're riding a Tenere.
Yep.
Todd's riding. Go ahead. Tell us about yours, Todd.
The Ratbag Strom or a Bandit with a sidecar.
Okay. Steve, you've got the Multistrada, right?
No, I got a KTM 1290 Super Adventure.
Oh, okay. You sold the Multistrada for that.
No, I had a Stelvio.
Man, I am so bad at this. Never mind.
Stelvio. Yeah.
Gucci's.
Ted doesn't ride. He just watches the bike in the garage.
Shut up, man. No, I do ride. I have you. I got my 2003 Softail Heritage Classic
with the complimentary squeak.
That's getting fixed, man. That's leave me alone. It's getting fixed.
Joanne, what do you guys got? Oh wait, she's still out. She's peeing the dog.
She's peeing the dog.
Peeing the dog.
She mentioned what she had earlier, but I don't remember.
It was. I think she was talking about an FC10.
Well, that's what she wants to get.
That's what she wants to get. Okay, I thought she had. Yeah. Okay,
she has an FC with like a number at the end.
I have a Buell Ulysses and the Triumph Sprint and a Euro.
Why didn't you bring the Ulysses on the trip?
Honestly, I was a little worried about the off-road part.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about staying upright. I figured with the Euro it'd be kind of easy mode on the off-road part. And I say that easy mode is a quote from someone else.
What?
Who's that?
Don't know. Must be someone.
Gee, I wonder who else had a Euro right before me, Todd.
Well, it's just your problem is the last time we were on a dirt road, my Euro wasn't breaking down, and you were on your Ulysses, and at one point you were trying to be cautious, and I was on the Euro, so I went by you like I was standing still at the same speed I went on the highway.
Yeah. Yeah.
About 62.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy mode. That's what you said.
It is. It's easy mode on the dirt.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, it won't fall over. Yeah.
When it's running, the Ural will go impressive speeds on the dirt. You can get that thing going about the same speed as you can on the highway. You know, you hit the pavement, and you're like, I'm not slowing down. God, I don't want to lose momentum. Are you crazy?
I just think that whole thing was the drive shaft thing wasn't indicative of the bike normally though. It was
No.
No, that was pretty unusual.
No, Chuck's Ural by and large is a tank. That thing is pretty damn good.
the sidekick was not normal design and was probably not put on there real heavy duty anyway.
Joanne's back, I think.
Sorry, my little man, he needed me, so.
No worries. We were talking about what bikes we have, so that for reference, and it's your turn.
I have a 2012 Street Triple R, a Triumph.
Ooh.
Yeah, super light. I love it. I swapped out the dumpy stock exhaust for 3.5 pound low mounted lightweight, and now she weighs like 395 wet.
You have something different when you first got to Pennsylvania.
I did. I bought an SV650, just a good old, reliable, inexpensive SV, and it was kind of terrible. I just don't. I don't know. I just didn't appreciate it as much as my older SV. I had an S, and I really like the assertive riding positions. If I could, I'd be riding a Daytona, but my body just doesn't want me to ride like that. I can't ride 400 miles a day on a Daytona. So the Street Triple's been a really nice, really nice in between, because it still handles like a Daytona, but it's comfortable. So I can do, 2,000 miles in a week. Easy.
Joanne, you
Right.
went on that 1190 SX and fall in love with it.
I fell in love with this year an R1200R 2016 with a dynamic suspension. I really, really enjoyed that. It was phenomenal. I hated those cylinders, though. I wanted to just chop them. I wanted to cut them off. Like
I
these.
rode that IMT Scrambler and thought the thing was really underwhelming. Like,
Okay, Ted. Yes, you can tip a Ural over, but it takes a little bit of work.
That's fine.
Did you do that? Who did that?
That isn't.
Is that like a rock climb? Like, were they following Jeeps up a rock climb or something? And then they flew
Probably.
over?
Like hit a hole and
That post was from Mr. Cobb, who is infamous in the Ural circles.
Yes.
Funny. Nice.
What I was doing on that trip would not have tipped me over. It would just disintegrate my final drive into tiny pieces. Because I am bad at riding.
No, come on.
Todd?
So what do we think Ural's going to have at the show this year?
Is Ural still alive? I
Oh
guess
God, are you kidding?
What?
me? Yes, they're selling tens of bikes.
Hipsters
they
love
were,
their bikes.
Well, I
They
think
were-
I've been hearing overall that right now the industry's down. Like bike sales are generally down right now, and like even Harley's going down. And what
Yeah,
does
the
that
school's
mean?
closing up shop for November. You know, we had cancellations all through October. There's definitely not a
Really?
lot of people riding right now, or at least not a lot of people wanting to get trained in riding. So
Well, it's our season is sort of winding down. The fair weather
True.
riders are
True.
packing it away. We
Dude, it
have
was
frost on the
75
ground.
today, though. Here it was 77, almost.
yeah, we had
80.
near 90, and I'm sure Steve had higher than that today.
It's
Actually,
it's
it's not
weird.
bad down here. We got a cold front coming in this weekend. It's supposed to be in the 60s.
Who
Oh
wrote?
yeah, this weekend's going to be nice. I've already
Wait,
a lot of
who-
my times, but
Who lives in the coldest climate?
Ted,
Is it me?
No, well, I don't know, Joanne. I'm in Jersey, so I'm not.
Oh, that's right. I guess we're kind of close.
Did you ride today, Joanne?
No, I drove the Jeep.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. Then.
I swear, driving the Jeep is almost as fun as riding my bike. I love it.
Well, who rode today?
I rode today.
I rode.
I drove my Subi.
Just about lost my fingers on the way in. I got to come up with better hand warming functions on the Bandit.
It was a little chilly this morning. Yeah.
It was if you have nothing covering your hands and nothing covering it was bad this morning. I had the heated jacket all the way up, and my fingers were still like, we're leaving.
Once you get those,
Hope you can break.
those things they work fine. They're cheap. The Oxford
I have speaking of Oxford, a new set of heated grips came out today by Koso, Koso, and they are the same. They're competitors to an Oxford, but no clunky controller on your dashboard. It's built into the hand grip
Ooh,
by your
tricky.
thumb. Oh,
Just like the ones on my Harley.
oh, or a BMW. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
aftermarket.
or Yamaha. I mean, for that matter.
Yeah, but it's a nice update and same price point.
I like mounting big dumb science fiction switches to my
No.
dashboard
No,
area
you don't.
that
You
light up. I
don't.
totally do. You should
No,
see
I
this
do.
drum. It's
I love
awesome.
the big toggle switches.
Big honkers like with lights on
The
them.
ones
I
straight
did?
from war games in 1980.
Ooh, with the flip top.
Flip tops and
When I had a dashboard,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But when you have no dashboard, no. There's no more dashboard now. It's just a little bar.
That's the whole point of having a fairing, is so you can drill
Yeah,
into
so you can
plastic.
put holes in it. Mount shit.
Yeah, but I'm not an old lady yet. So
Ted, back us up here.
you know.
Wait. You want to reassess that statement?
Yeah.
What statement? I'm not an old lady yet. Not yet.
You were saying a little while ago you were old when you
Older.
were talking about the wads.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
but
sure.
I'm not a retired lady yet. I still have like, I don't know, 10 years to go. That's why I just can't give this bike up yet. I'm not ready to retire. And when I do, then maybe I'll buy a BMW. But still having too much fun on it.
Hey, whatever.
Kevin, where are you located at?
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, you're close. How far are you from Modus? They're in
20
Mobile.
minutes.
Have
Yeah,
you been
20
down there to check them out?
In Birmingham?
Yeah. I mean, during Barber, I went down there and visited with them. I'm going to try to get Lee on our show here in the next month or two. Just kind of let them get through the riding season. He being such a major rider and just wanting to get out and enjoy some of this fall weather. I don't think I could track him down right now if I had to. So I was going to kind of wait till the winter to see if I can get in there and get an interview. I was able to get in towards their shop. Pretty cool place. Really enjoyed the way they open up their doors and kind of just let you walk around. And he introduced me to Mr. Barber himself. So I kind of had a good time there. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in northern Utah, so
How's the weather out there?
Cold this morning.
A little chilly in the mornings.
Define
Nice this afternoon.
define cold.
27.
what?
That's nothing.
Gross.
Oh no. Talk to me when it's about 5 out. It's nothing cold here. People talk about cold here, and if you grew up like near the Canadian border, this place is a joke for cold. Like it gets down to 20 and they're like, "Oh, we're dying." I'm like, "Oh, you candy asses."
I'm from San Diego, so anything below 60 is freezing.
That's right. When you're used to 75, 20 is an adjustment. Come on.
Oh, a little bit.
A lot. A
being
bit.
in Alabama, it's hot. I mean,
Steve, what is it by you?
so like today it was 88 degrees.
Oh my god.
And now it's supposed to cool off like 15, 20 degrees in the next few days. But like my wife was asking me, should we put away all the kids' summer clothes? And I was like, no, it's not 2017 yet. We're probably going to have one more snap, probably right around Christmas. It'll be like, hey, it's 69, 75 degrees during Christmas.
Turn
I
the heat
hope.
on.
It was last year here in Philly. It was 75 on Christmas. It was awesome.
See, I hate that. I like cold weather.
I don't think so.
Getting back to AIM for a second.
Sorry.
Did either you two guys come away really impressed with anything from this year's AIM?
Yeah, actually, Cyclops had a really kind of neat thing in their booth. Their Phoenix headlight. So if you're doing a build and you're going to replace the light in a 7-inch headlight bucket,
Ooh.
this all-encompassing sealed beams got 2 high beam,
Ooh.
low beam, and a halo in it, all built in together, plug and play, ready to go. That was pretty neat. We did a video of it.
Oh my god, I want it.
Yeah,
Neat. Did you look on their website, Todd?
Yeah, the Bandit's headlight is a joke. It's a 7-inch bucket, and it like creates this. I think the instrument lights make more light.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And stuff that Cardo introduced, the Scala Rider Pack Talk,
Uh-huh.
Recon.
Oh, it's not Scala anymore. It's the Pack Talk and the Smart Pack or whatever.
Yeah, well, they still look at I talked to Kevin.
Is
And
that different than the pack stuff they had last year?
yeah.
There's two. Well, I don't know if they came out with any up on top of the Smart Pack, but the Smart Pack is the top, and then Pack Talk, or sorry, Pack Talk is the top, and then Smart Pack is the one from the.
Have you seen the Freecon Joanne, yet? They just
The-
introduced the name
The
Freecom.
Freecom by Cardo.
Yeah, by Cardo. They had Freecom 1, 2, and 4. They'll officially be released in February. So here's what it was. Like Freecom 1 is just if you don't want to talk to anybody, you just want to listen to music and answer phone calls. That's it. So it comes at a price point like somewhere around $150. Freecom 2 is designed with intercom only, like a 30-foot range. So it's rider passenger. So that if that's all you're planning on doing, rider passenger, that's Freecom 2. And then 4 is like 2 double sets. So a group of 2 couples riding together, the bikes can talk to each other. And that's their newest thing. So ranging from like retail of $150 to $350. And then Pack Talk is the DMC technology on that thing is pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Cena also had a 30K unit that they were showing in like under glass in prototype form.
That competes with the Pack Talk,
Yeah, to compete with
Yeah.
that same
Yeah.
technology.
the
So
DMC.
hopefully that'll
Yeah, I actually did a show and have interview both of those guys. You guys can go out there and anybody watching this can go out there and listen to that, and both of them talk about it. You know, the new mesh that they're trying to use, and pretty much the whole thing of it. And like I experienced it at Barber. You know, hey, we're riding with 5 of us. Somebody's not synced up to somebody else, and so you lose the back half of your group until they get in the right order and get back closer to somebody they compare with. The mesh kind of helps eliminate that, to where that one person may drop off, but as soon as they get closer, in both of these companies, they'll just automatically pop back in.
the technology is really neat. And then one thing that works really well on the Pack Talk is the app that they have. So if you ever played around with the app for Cena, it allows you to do the settings on the unit. Whereas the Scala app, actually you can have it running and you can make calls from it, you can change music, you can go back onto your radio, pick stations. So it's kind of like a dashboard for the unit itself. You don't need to have it, but it's an added extra feature. The other technology I thought was kind of cool was the bridge technology for the DMC. So let's say that you're in a group of like 8 riders all into that DMC mesh, and then somebody comes along with a Bluetooth unit. You can bridge them into the DMC. So they're also talking to you too.
We could have used that.
Well, let me ask you guys this question: of all these units, how is the audio quality in your ears?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm
Mine is horrible.
It varies.
It depends. The 20S has the best speakers I've ever heard out of a factory speaker system. And I'm deaf on one side, almost 80%, and then 50% on the other. And I can listen to music while I'm going down the highway at 80 miles. I can't listen to a podcast. Like I can't really pick out what they're saying, but music I can.
I can't listen to anyone's podcast either. I hate them, all of them,
Including your own.
You know, you really listen to the
especially my own.
podcast. Yeah.
Well, also, your sound quality is always affected by many other factors. So your helmet, how quiet is it? Your windscreen, do you even have one? Do you have a fairing? How much space is between the neck roll and your neck? Are you, wearing a helmet that has no seal around your neck to where now you're just getting air? Are you wearing earplugs because you have to, unless you're behind like a Road King or something? There's so many things that you have to take into consideration, because the same person or 2 people can have totally different experiences with the same 20S.
Well, basically,
right?
I'm not really talking about that. I'm much as the quality of the speaker sound. Like, for example, I have I've got a Cena set up, and myself and my brothers, and not moving, just sitting still, bike's not running. It sounds like it's coming from an AM radio.
Well, have you tried?
Which one do you have?
Yeah,
Well,
I've got the SMH10.
yeah.
yeah.
Those are very teeny. There's almost no bottom end in those at all.
And the 10 is a really old unit too.
Yeah, the 20S's are better. The 30K is, I think that's what it is. That's supposed to be even better.
Yeah.
At the Cardo booth, they were like allowing you to like put on these special headphones that had the speakers that come with the unit supposedly in them.
Yeah.
I didn't do that just because I'm like, how many hundreds of people have put this on their heads, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I doubt these guys are really cleaning these, and
Wow.
that's me. But
Did Cena have any concrete info about their smart helmet?
That's
yeah,
launching
and
next year, right?
yeah, it's coming out next year, I think.
They had a version 2 that they were showing a prototype with a camera in it as well, and
see that none of the helmets use that new mesh technology either.
no, right.
That's lame.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of a
Well, how many people are riding with 8 or 10 people and really need that? Personally, I would never I will never ride in a group like that. Never need those features ever because it's just not the kind of riding I do, and I don't think it's as common. And most people just want the basic stuff because I'll tell you, 9 out of 10 people who come in the store and want a headset, they just want to talk to their buddy, they want to talk to their wife or their partner, they want to use their phone, and they don't want to talk to 8 people.
That's why I think these free comms are going to be really popular because you're talking about that market specifically. You know,
I think they're a little overpriced for what they're trying to do, and you can go and buy a older 20S pair for probably the same once the 30K hits.
Yep.
They probably need to drop it. I would say $50 per set would be.
they end up being that way. You know, they were just kind of talking about a February launch, some preliminary pricing. It's not even on their website yet. So you're right.
The
They drop
30K, I think.
You know,
that's
a
on
month ago I would have said I will never need to talk to 8 people at once. But hearing about the mesh thing, because when we did our ride, we were expecting the Wheel Nerds ride would be like 3 people, like us, and like one other person shows up. We had 8 freaking people on that ride. And at various times I was party lined with Chuck and Jen on the Ural, but I couldn't get Logan in. I could talk to him or I could talk to them, and it was really frustrating as hell. So the whole like just join the mesh and do it, that sounds badass. And if you can hold a bunch of people, then it's the one time you need it, you're totally glad you have it because it's cool as crap.
It's a mesh with everybody having the exact same thing, or you're doing the dual band of, hey, I want to,
the daisy
I'm going to be the phone, so and you're having to kind of work them into the mesh. That's where I'm skeptical is we have 4 people that have a common brand, and now we're having to bridge in 4 other people, 1 per person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it probably won't work for those people, right? It's only going to work if you have a likely DNC headset.
It will. No, you can bridge them in, Joanne. It's part of their technology. We found this out in a painful way on the first ride up the divide. I could not pair with one of the riders at all, no matter what we tried. I was only paired with Spencer and another guy. So if Spencer got out of range from me, I couldn't talk to him. And I couldn't talk to the guy that was riding next to me because I was paired with Spencer and I was paired with Spencer, and I couldn't get with the DMC. That would have eliminated all that. And the local MPA group here, they switched in mass from using, like CDs to like Kenwood radios, all to Cena 20Ss. So everybody in this group of like 30 people have 20Ss, and you're probably not going to see that group switch to Pack Talks, but maybe they will go to 30Ks or that new technology when it comes out, because it is kind of a pain in the ass if the person you're paired with doesn't show up that day.
Or is riding a Ural and goes really slow and you outrun them because you're going at the, we're going to say the posted limit.
What?
No.
I usually ride by myself. I mean, that's just I sometimes ride with my neighbor, but I'm usually by myself.
You ride on your neighbor?
However, when the loud pipe skies came down, it was nice to be able to, for us all to be able to chat, and especially when we were riding out with the Motus group, to be able to catch up to each other and know what the traffic flow is, because we kind of got spread out there on that ride out there, and not everybody knew where they were going. So it's nice to be able to have these large groups when you need to, but I don't want to say, hey, I'm going to buy to where I can have 4 people, and if I have a 5th, well, SOL, dude.
Yeah, you kind of don't really think about the communications until like the opportunity lands on you, and then you're like, oh my god, this is so cool that we can talk.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have any experience with the Uclear products?
No. I've always been a Cena, diehard Cena.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like them, honestly, because you used to be able to get them from, was it Cycle Gear? That was what Cycle Gear carried almost exclusively for the longest time. But I've never used them.
Well, I met a couple up at the Americade, and they were raving about it. They said that the microphones, it wasn't like a microphone in front of you. It went along the.
It's micless.
Yeah, it's really. They said it was really amazing. They're pricey. I think they're a little more pricey than the Cenas.
Yeah, it uses bone conduction, and I use that in my other life a lot. So that works good. My real job.
Bone.
Phone conduction, yeah.
Boys, calm down now, boys.
Have any of you seen the FreeWire unit, which is supposed to connect the Harley and Goldwing systems fully wirelessly, so you can actually use your CB radio on your Wing or your Harley with your headset two-way channel?
Yeah, so they've kind of been making that for the Kenwood radios, you know, like what do they call that, Joanne, that license on, it's not a CB and it's not commercial band, it's
Family band or something like that. Or
they've had
FRS.
FRS, family radio system, right?
Well, all I know is this is supposed to bridge the gap, so you can use your Harley system fully and completely with your headset.
Now at last I can talk to truckers from my Harley.
Exactly. Without right. You can, and you just have to buy a cable adapter for your Wing or your Harley, but if it's available, like it's on Revzilla right now too.
Hey, do you truckers need someone to do your taxes?
Hey.
I guess.
Anyone got a hurt tooth? Need a root canal? Pull on over.
Well, I will say, since we're talking about Cena, I'm glad to see that they have actually started with all the cameras and things like that they've been doing. Their app will actually have Wi-Fi support to where you can actually like pre-aim and figure out what view you're getting from your camera without, you know, like looking at the camera or taking a test roll and trying it again. You know, I was kind of surprised when they came out with the products that wasn't already included, because it was already standard place with everybody else by that time. So they're kind of catching up in that aspect.
As long as they put a way to turn it off, because that thing kills battery quick on a GoPro. Turn Wi-Fi on and it's the GoPro battery.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could turn it off from the app, if I remember what she was telling me.
Yeah, did you see the new camera too? The 10C slimmed down. They made the thing a lot smaller. It's the size of a 20S actually. So,
yeah, it looks nice and compact. If I get a helmet camera, that's probably what I would end up going with. I don't know, just the GoPros. I wish they kind of changed their profile a little bit to where they had an alternative to what they currently have, just where I can turn it sideways.
Become friends with the Dorky Block. You love the Dorky Block.
Sony has sort of a side profile camera that I have, the Sony Action Cam, I think they call it.
Yeah, it's Sony and Drift have one, but I don't know if Drift's really doing that well. I haven't heard anything from them in a while. So,
what's her name, Nick?
TomTom sent me their new Bandit action camera demo, and it's a tube about maybe. Wait, where is it? Here it is. There it is. They sent me that thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that not the Sony? Isn't it the same as the Sony?
I don't know. I haven't seen the Sony, but it's small.
It's similar.
Yeah, it's similar.
Get it out of the box.
I'm not surprised that's not smaller, to be perfectly honest.
Here's the case for my Sony.
USB.
Gives you an idea what the shape of. Oh, wait.
This is smaller than that.
Actually, here it is. This is
Mine's smaller than yours.
Yeah.
Touche.
That's actually, well, let's see.
Oh, look.
Is that the battery? No, what is that? USB?
This is USB
storage. Oh, nice.
This is the storage, yeah. And you just put the micro SD right there, and you're all set.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hey, this is a GoPro HD back when HD was cool and new.
Oh my god.
I got that one. All that right now.
It's unkillable.
Oh, I know.
I like the tiny little Hero 5 that came out. It's like a little cube.
Oh, it's adorable.
$2.99.
The Session?
Yeah. They're really proud of it.
It's so tiny.
Did you see they came out with a drone? I was all excited because they're like, oh, you can do all this action with the drone.
It's a whole kit.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole kit.
About it. Yeah. Todd, I was like really excited to see that at AIM because GoPro's there and they got a big booth. And we had a Phantom 4 when we went on the first ride of the Divide trip. And by the way, the aerial footage from the Phantom was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Cool. The trouble I found though is that I went looking at it, I'm like, oh boy, I can follow the bike, and it's like top speed at 35 miles an hour. I'm like, so first year.
Without a crosswind.
It's bad though when you're riding like in the mountains like we were. You didn't really. It was easier to do than you thought. You know, like we didn't really want to haul butt.
I remember that one stretch where we all stopped and we were trying to do the follow cam with the drone. And I think I was the only one that went slow enough for the drone to keep it framed.
Yeah.
Good for you, Chuck. Good for you, buddy.
I maintained a pretty slow speed some of the time too for that. But
Well, every rider that went, Spencer's screaming, "You got to go slower."
right.
Spencer's like, "Just try to walk the bike if you can. Just do that."
There's some times where we had the thing coming over the top of the mountain and like watch, coming past us and would fly over us. But anyway, so we were like on this when they introduced the Karma, we were chatting back and forth because if you haven't seen it, the actual gimbal pops out and it can go on a grip, and
It's pretty slick.
pretty cool. So we go over to the booth. Spencer was having now he flew this drone pretty much the whole time, and we had it mounted on the back of Jared's bike in a case. Well, I go over to the GoPro booth and they got one sitting in the case there, and I'm like, "Hey, can I, you got one you can fondle, And the guy's like, "No, it's under glass and you can't touch it, and it's not
actually working."
Yeah, and I said, "Well, I'm kind of concerned because I haven't read anything about like a follow me mode or obstacle avoidance." The guy goes, they don't do that. He goes, "That's just marketing hype." I go, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, they can't really follow you. They don't really do that. And there's no such thing as obstacle avoidance." So I'm kind of like looking at the guy because I know nothing about these things. So I'm like, "I'll be right back."
Bring over the drone pilot.
And all of a sudden the guy's like that. Yeah, the drone pilot comes over and the guy's like looking at his phone, like not ignoring Spencer. When Spencer's like, "They absolutely do follow me and do this and do that." And the guy goes, "Well, I don't really know much about drones anyway." Kind of walked away from us. Oh, gee.
Oh man.
And that's the dude they had manning the booth.
Yeah, that's
Good job.
Well,
Go GoPro.
go there on a Sunday because I interviewed somebody, and the only reason I kept doing the interview is because he was just completely plastered, and I was having a good time right before I left. I mean, he was nailed. I mean, I don't even remember what the product was. I just was having fun just talking to him.
3 sheets to the wind.
I mean, he was gone. And if you are ever wanting to get content, go during the media days because about Friday at 3:00, apparently every other media guy that can actually talk to you or wants to talk to you, they head out. They don't stay for the last few days unless it's a smaller company and they're talking to the owner. Learn that the hard way.
Yeah, the media. IMS is different with the way they do their media day than AIM. AIM sets aside the whole day before the show as a media day. IMS just has the first half of Friday as the media time, and then they open the show at 3 p.m. to the general public.
2 days, Thursday and Friday was on
2 days, yeah, AIM.
Wow. If you're going
like a second thought.
You keep away from. I mean, unless you wanted to spend a day interviewing, like just regular people that are at the show, but it's really productive to go media days. It's
kind of harder at the IMS Long Beach, I remember, because during that morning section that's supposed to be media time, everyone's busy setting up. Tour Tech is building their castle catalog until 3 p.m. So they don't have a whole lot of time.
They have like all the catalog to this day.
They're not as cool as Revzilla, Joanne.
No one's as cool as Revzilla. Come on.
No one's as hip as Revzilla. Let's be honest, Joanne. You are seconds away from buying yourself a hipster bike.
Yeah, that's me. I'm all over that bobber or whatever thing.
She'll go from you'll go from the Street Triple R to a Thruxton R.
Mm-hmm.
That Thruxton R is pretty sweet. I sat
See?
on it.
See?
But you didn't hear my butt. It weighs a fucking ton. It's like 560 pounds.
Well, you know what you could do is get the angle grinder and you could grind off the fenders. Stick with me here. I think there's a podcast you could learn about that from. What's called? Something about restaurants.
No, I'm gonna pass. No. And that's the other reason I'm like not gonna. I probably won't upgrade for a while because I just love the lightweight bike that I have, and there's really nothing else out there that can be that weight and do what I need to do.
The virus is a slow virus, Joanne. It will catch up to you.
I'm not ready to put on my fake riding boots and fake leather jacket. I'm not ready yet. Hey, I have a legit question for you guys because I actually need to go in a little bit. I want your microphone recommendations because, as I told you, I sit in a closet and it's great because it's quiet, but sometimes I don't want to go in there because it's really hot. So I want a better mic that I can use maybe in a more open space, that you think that would be decent?
It's more the space than the mic.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how fancy my mic is. The space is.
It's the type of mic. I mean, there's different types of mics. You know, some mics, what is it, dynamic mics? They capture every sound in the entire room. You know, they're
Right.
made to do that.
Right.
And there's other mics that are more directional.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I've got a Heil PR40. You know, the cliche microphone from podcasters.
Okay.
And it works really well. If I move away from it, my voice fades and it sounds like I'm going down a long, dark tunnel. I started off with the blue something another. What is this thing?
Same with
Ooh.
got rid of
One
it.
of these big things. And
Snowball?
no, this isn't a snowball.
Yeti,
This is
right?
Yeti.
thing.
Yeti. Okay. Okay.
And the sound quality wasn't as good. But if I moved around, you couldn't tell. I mean, it just picked it up. If I had to get way away from it for it to do that kind of
Okay.
device. So that's what I've used. I don't know about these other guys. I also, when I'm out and about, I use the Audio Technica 2100.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. Those things are great.
Yeah, these things are great.
The Rode
Kevin, Kevin, I noticed that in your room, you're not in a small room. You're in a big room.
No, this is the bottom half of my house. I mean, this
Right.
is literally half my house. It's in the basement. The kids sleep above me, and I mean that's why I said though I do have to kind of tell them, hey, quit jumping on the floors and stuff because it sounds like I'm in a bass drum. So usually when I'm recording, I try to keep them calm or in bed or something. But for the most part,
Tranquilized.
yeah, I'm just in my room, and you know I have to get close to the mic. The thing about the Heil though is you have to really turn up your gain to get all that audio out of it. My gain totally turned up on this mic and my board. So
Yeah,
Okay.
the booster. I got an Electro Voice RE320, which is kind of like a PR40, but it's a little less money. And I've actually got a line booster in line because it's the same thing. You got to have a lot of gain to run these things, and they got to run on phantom power. So whatever interface, I think you have Scarlett.
I have a Scarlett.
Yeah, you've got phantom power on there, but the booster is. I'll send you the link for the one I use. It's a guy out of the UK, and they're on eBay, and they're pretty inexpensive compared to like the.
Yeah, I also need to spend less than a couple $100, like maybe 200 cap. Like I'm not ready to throw down like $600 for a
I
microphone.
would get the Audio Technica ATs like Kevin.
oh yeah, this is $85. This is $85.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean
crash users, and they're great.
yeah, I mean and you get
Will
some
you
kind
email-
of
Yeah, will you email
wind
me that?
or
Sure.
buff on it. You're fine.
I have that. I have my little wind thingy. Will you? Yeah, Kevin, will you email me what that is?
Sure.
What the hell is that, Ted? That's the old school, or is that something?
That's
Wow, so pretty.
my SM55. I used this for gigs for a long time. In fact, even in earlier days of the podcast, I was using this. This thing will pick up a fly farting from 1,000.
I don't need that. What do you use now?
It's an Gear cardioid mic. It's and the thing is, it needs phantom power. It's a great mic, you know. I like it. But this one here, the SM55.
Dog, what? What?
Chuck and I are trying to communicate here because you're talking about phantom power, and I'm like, what the fuck is phantom power?
You're the one that's supposed to know all this.
I know! I wasn't paying. I was drunk in film school.
You're the one that's always like the XY. Look, blankets and shit.
And that I tell you, the thing you learn in film school is you can use a really shitty. The half of Wheel Nerds is recorded on a shitbag $30 Amazon USB mic, but I know how to make a room be really dead sound with blankets.
So what the fuck is phantom power? Is that just a USB power?
No, it's power from the line into the mic to power the driver and the mic.
It's basically when you don't need a separate power cable or a USB cord.
Right.
And I also prefer an XLR microphone if possible.
Well, the ATR does both. It's got USB and
really?
XLR.
Okay, yeah, I definitely want that email. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sending you a.
Awesome.
Long ago, when the world was
Amazon
young,
command.
and there were analog things on everything, and everybody here but me was picking microphones.
Yeah, I'm using a Radio Shack mic. This is like my husband's microphone from I think college or high school even when he played in a band. I think I don't know. It's
Yeah, so-
old.
So you can go with the fancy mic, or you can do the dead in the space you're in with blankets, which is the film.
No, I got my closet.
In the closet, which
How is that?
is what
I
you've
got
done.
my closet, but in the summer it's like 1,000 degrees in there because there's no air conditioning in my closet. So I just,
Check the group chat.
Seriously,
How does
include
it
your
go
show in
with
the closet?
what?
You seriously is going to?
Yes.
Do you really?
Into my clothing closet. Yeah, it's about maybe 3 feet wide by like 6 feet long, and it's actually perfect because it's like a tiny little studio, and it kills the echo,
Yeah.
but it's really small and narrow, and I put my laptop on the shelf, right at the end of the closet and between my clothes, and it works great. It's just it gets so warm in there in the summer, and I'm dying.
Half Throttle used to just throw a blanket over his head when he was doing his narration voiceover stuff.
That would make me sweat too, right? Big blanket.
I know two guys that they did a podcast in their minivan. They would go to the minivan to do the recording. Joanne, check the link I put in there. That's an
Okay.
Amazon
Thank you.
link to that mic, so that should help you out.
Perfect.
We just have a Samson Meteor mic with a
This is great.
yeah.
Thank you.
We have a unique problem though, is that we have two of us in the studio at a time. We're not individually mic'd,
Why not?
because we don't have a mixer.
Look at the Scarlet. Get it. You'll love it.
Well,
Use it.
yeah. So we could do that, and then
You know what?
in
We
addition
might
to
have
that,
a
I'm
mixer
loud
in
as
that
shit.
box.
Yeah, it's an XLR mixer.
Yeah, babe.
So we need an XLR mic. XLR is the 3-prong jobby from long ago, days of yore. That's what they're all using because they're cool audio files. They also have these old speakers from the 60s they like, and records sound better.
Oh my God. Come on. The Scarlet's only $99 on Amazon. You want
Records
this?
do sound better.
Oh yeah.
It's too old.
Scratch them too, right?
Thank you. Thank you for your recommendation. Super helpful. I'm going to go
problem.
definitely go buy a mic. Yeah. Get
Scarlett, ooh, a mixer board I can play with. Ooh, this is fun.
It's great. It's got the 2 XLR. You can, control your levels. And if you're on a Mac, you can use GarageBand. It's great.
Didn't you guys have like a line on like an old MX-50 with the fader bar? Because that would be sweet.
I think when I first started doing our recordings, which are really awful. Sorry, listeners, if you listened to our early recordings, we're terrible.
We've all been there, Joanne.
And, yeah, so like on the 12th one or 14th one, my husband whipped out his ancient mixer.
I don't want to hear anymore.
High school.
Stop.
and it was better. But this changed everything. The Scarlet changed everything. It just really elevated everything. Highly recommend. Highly.
I was thinking for the IMS show of picking up a set of those lavalier mics to use for interviewing people at the
Countryman.
show.
You want Countryman. Those,
Okay.
yeah, Countryman, lavalier. They're like little wires. It's like when you see people wear it looks like a bobby pin. They're tiny and they're awesome. They're great.
I was going to pick up a set of iRigs.
I got one.
Well, I guess if you're poor, then you don't want to do a Countryman. They are expensive, but highly recommend.
I am super poor.
Oh,
I
sorry.
pay child support.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Chuck. Okay.
That's a nice looking mic. I like that. The Countryman. That's nice.
It's really great. My husband used to do short films with his friends back in San Francisco, and they pretty much use the Countryman.
$420 for that thing.
Well, it's because it's tiny, and you can just hide it, and it doesn't look like you're wearing a mic, but you get really, really good sound for such a small little mic. Yeah.
The Rode Reporter that I use is one of these mics where you can put it down like chest level between two people, and it picks up everything.
Nice.
It looks like a reporter's mic,
Yeah, that's why I keep that blue just in case I ever want to do an actual round table, like around a table. So.
Steven, will you post that link to the recorder you just mentioned in the group chat?
He might not be able to hear us at the moment.
Oh.
He took his headphones off.
I think he's looking for it.
He's ransacking a bag.
What's he doing? He looks homeless. What's he doing?
He's going to ask you for some change.
Spend all his money on that KTM,
You got some change? Hey, you said change. Hey, I got something here in this bag. It's only about $5, $2. Hey, honey, bring me that thing. Where's my thing? Okay. Hey, this would be $2. Here, I'm gonna show it to you in a sec. Here, I'm gonna pull it out here. Hold on. It's just big. It's
Okay,
right
I think
here.
that's my cue. No, I actually have to jet. Lovely talking to you, fellas. Look forward to hearing this whenever it goes up live. And I hope you
Thanks
guys have
for
a really
joining
great
us.
night.
Thanks for coming on, Joanne.
Yeah, it was my
Do you want to
pleasure.
plug your podcast real quick for anyone who isn't familiar with it?
Yeah, please. We're a little bit on hiatus right now until next week. Motorific, so motorific.com. And it's me and Christy Farrell, ADV Goddess on Twitter. And we try to record bi-weekly now. But we had some vacations. You know, we're traveling. We're having fun. So we'll be back online hopefully next
Do
week.
you know if Christy's going to Long Beach?
She probably will. I mean,
Okay.
she's down there. She most very likely will. But I need to find out. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Most likely. Yeah. We'll have a great time there.
Thank
Have a
you.
great time at the IMS in New York. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Right.
See you, Jones.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
What do you guys think I should be trying to look up at IMS?
Maybe accessories or a bike spirit.
Besides EBR? Because the sense I was getting from AIM listening to you guys talk is there wasn't really anything exciting motorcycle-wise. It was all Farkle-wise.
Farkle maybe, but motorcycle wise, I'm hoping that Triumph is going to be there with their new bobber.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of cool looking, actually.
That's a really badass bike.
Do they do demo rides at Long Beach IMS?
I don't recall. I think they do, but I'm
If you can
I
get
don't remember.
you can get a ride on the DCT Africa Twin, I'd love to hear what you think about that. Because the DCT on the NC 700X was horrible, but they say the one on the Africa Twin is completely different, and that it's really great off road. But if you could, because they didn't have any demos at AIM this year, but if they do, and Chuck, if you can ride that.
Well, they did have it on the. I mean, they kind of had it on a little system where you can
Yeah,
rev the engine and just
What?
take the yeah they had it on a
like they did with
I know, pretty
they had the Harley Davidson live wire. Chuck, they had it like on rollers.
Yeah, the pretend to ride thing.
yeah and I'm sorry, but the sound that it was making I mean the whine coming from the motor and from something else on the roller just was horrendous, and I think it gave the impression to everybody else there that that's not a bike they want to ride. I mean, just from listening to it, it was kind of like, man, that sounds like crap.
Mm.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying that as they were walking by, and most of the sound probably was the roller spinning and not the actual motor.
Mm.
But that's kind of when people, I mean, just hear the comments. That's what I was getting from it.
The rollers are really loud because they had them on that Harley live wire, and that thing doesn't make any noise, So, I don't know, everybody that I've talked to that's ridden the DCT Africa Twins liked it a lot. But that's one of the things. The reason I went was to be able to ride one, and they just didn't have it. It was really kind of lame, honestly.
It sounds a lot less cool than last year's.
Yeah, there wasn't even that vibe. Last year, how it was kind of like exciting. There was a lot of new stuff, and I think it might have been a combination, like Kevin said, of the hurricane. They were saying that there was very, very little accommodations in Daytona, so they were saying that Biketoberfest had attendance down. I think people at the last minute. Now that I think about it, there was a lot of areas where there was seating, like just stuck in there, like there should have been a booth.
I talked to
a lot of empty booths. A lot of empty booths.
Some of the companies I talked to this year said they weren't going to AIM because of costs. So I don't know if AIM increased their costs to the exhibitors or if it was just kind of a down year all around.
Well, I think also if you look at it as, hey, next year it may be coming closer to a large portion of the country. Let's just not go this year. Plus, hey, this hurricane comes through. That's just even more incentive to not go. So it was so uncertain whether or not you would be able to have a hotel room or have water. I mean, I don't know about you, Steve, but the water that I was drinking for the first week that I was down there tasted horrendous from all the extra chemicals they had put into it because of all the flooding they had. And there was a lot of issues with things like that going on there. I think a lot of people just kind of backed out and are waiting to go to the next 2 years because really I think Ohio will be big, but I think Vegas is going to be the one that's going to be the off the charts, one to go to just because it's Vegas and everybody wants to go to Vegas.
I think we're gonna skip we'll skip the one in Columbus and do Vegas, because I want to be able to do like Barber again. And what are you laughing at, Chuck?
That look on Todd's face.
No doubt, he's probably watching porn or something.
No, it's a show I can go to. Are you kidding me?
As soon as he said Vegas, he's like,
Vegas is not even like a whole day from here, and Chuck will get Chuck can get your timeshare thing.
oh yeah,
get it hooked up.
Same thing we did in Orlando. We just
We get as many dirtbag podcasters with sleeping bags stuffed into there as we can.
Probably Spencer too for that. So
yeah, because that's way closer to Spencer. So
Yeah. Well, Steve, if you come up to Barber, man, let me know. We'll get together and do some riding.
we I kind of I was going to go to Overland Expo, and then Sunday I was going to be at Barber, but because of my real job, I got called into the Emergency Operations Center and couldn't go. I had to cancel my trip. Yeah, definitely next year I'll be at Barber for sure. We have a big group down here, the Vintage Iron Club of Palm Beach, and they do the Ace Corner thing, and we're friends with the guys from Ace Cafe, and it's kind of a really fun time at Barber.
has Ace Cafe opened yet?
No.
No.
I talked to Steve Glum about it when I was there. You know what was really cool? I got to meet Freddie Spencer, though. That was the one highlight of the whole thing. I met Freddie Spencer and talked to him for a while.
When are they going to open?
He says they're shooting again for December, January. So
That's what they said last year, wasn't it?
Any second now. Just one more. Just.
Yeah, I spoke to him too, and got a little bit of a audio bit from him, and both at Barber and at AIM, he was very adamant that next year around this time they should be open.
And the time I've heard them saying they were about to open, I've been to the Ace Cafe in London now.
could have walked there by now, right?
I had to take some trains. I got lost, and
I don't know what's going on. They've had problems with the city. They've had problems with renovations. I think maybe there's some money issues too. I don't know, but Steve was confident that they're going to be open.
You should come to Overland Expo West, and we could all.
I might, because me and Crash went out there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I got it.
That's something Todd could go to too.
Mm-hmm. With a little forewarning, absolutely. Unfortunately, we know what it is.
The only thing is, Chris doesn't know where he's going to be after this school. He's changing jobs in the Navy. He's going to school to be a rescue swimmer, and he doesn't know where he might end up getting stationed on the fleet. He's hoping for Japan actually.
Oh,
which would be cool. But
that would make the podcast a little harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could do it without doing the hangout on air thing.
Yeah.
We could find another way of doing it, and that the whole hangout on air thing's really changing too.
Oh God, it's very confusing to me. I screwed up. We lost one of our interviews because I couldn't figure out the hangout.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we're going to have to buy a video encoder and do it that way. But
I don't even know if this is recording.
This should be, because this should be recording. I'll tell you right now if it is. I'll go to the YouTube channel. And
It should be going to YouTube.
Well, I don't know if it's recording, but it is broadcasting. I've got a couple of listeners tell me that they're watching this. So
I know.
I'm sorry.
We are so sorry.
I got it recording on Audacity.
Yeah, I'm sure they really are enjoying. They enjoyed the podcast tech section that we had.
The funny thing is, we actually got a lot of listeners who asked us about that. There's a reason to put that in the topic list. Because I mean, let's be honest. Who here did not start their podcast because they listened to some other podcast and they're like,
I could do that.
I can do better now.
Those guys suck.
Shit.
All they do is giggle like schoolgirls.
Those asshole.
Heard that a lot about you guys.
They hate cruisers.
They hate cruisers and they giggle like schoolgirls.
I need to make a cruiser podcast instead.
Yeah.
Didn't they say
But I'll keep the giggling because that's cool.
10th grade school?
Let me add some sound effects.
Hey, I added some sound effects to our last
We've
one.
upped our game. Now there's sound effects.
We had music and stuff.
Yeah, I did. Don't do that again.
Oh, come on. The bass drop was hilarious.
I did have someone tell me today that that the part in our podcast in our last episode where I cut in the Mad Max soundbite, they started laughing out loud in the line at a pharmacy, and a little old lady thought they were being laughed at.
Oh. I almost crashed my truck when I was listening to the Gravy Hose thing, and then I was singing the Dick song.
The Dick song.
I was singing the Dick song all day the other day.
it's always gratifying, and I'm sure we've all had the one where the one listener's like, the part when you did that, and you're like thinking it's something totally innocuous, like, yeah. They're like, I almost died. I was late for work.
Actually, people commenting on this video right now. I
got the Dick song in my head.
Please tell me that's not how we're going to have to close this particular.
No.
I think we should all do a group sing along of that.
So immature.
No, yeah, it is. Yes.
What else do we want to talk about?
I'm actually curious for predictions this year because we got
I'm going to get arrested at IMS for fucking with Eric. I'm calling that right now. I'm getting escorted out of that show. I'm getting tased. There will be a "Don't Tase Me, Bro" video on the internet of me. I'm calling that right now.
Or if not, Eric Buell is there.
What?
If Eric Buell is there, yeah, or if Eric Buell is not there, which
if Eric Buell's not
either
there,
way.
then
Tased. Bring me Eric.
Where's the AX? I want to ride it. I will be escorted out of the EBR booth. That's by police.
I don't know if they're going to be it. They'll be there.
They say they're going to be there. They're going to be there. They say Eric's going to be there, and they're going to be talking about something new.
That's for the Miami show. Big surprise. It was such a failure.
So I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see some of the less fringe manufacturers start putting airbags in their jackets and stuff. That's the one I'm kind of waiting and watching because it feels like it's coming. Like it's too good not to. First Gear or Joe Rocket or
Dianace's coming out with a lot of stuff, and I really think that Climb and Revit will be your best bets to get either a partnership with Helite or somebody like that, or come up with their own home rolled solution to that.
Someone does have a partnership with Helite now.
Because the stuff that Helite's making, like we tried their leather jacket, which was really, really nice, but it's branded Helite.
Yeah, it was at last year's AIM.
Yeah, well, they brought one down for the Nicole came out. She flew out for the Vintage Festival that we had last February.
Mm-hmm.
Did a bunch of demos and did a bunch of shots, and the leather jacket was great. Looks really good, and it worked good.
It is heavy as anything.
Who was the outfit that was doing the gloves with the 2-in-1 gloves?
That was Held.
Okay, I think they're the ones that had Helite stuff in their jackets.
Well, I tell you, it would make a lot of sense.
Or was it was in the same booth as the Held guys?
No, because it was Schubert and Held together.
Oh, it might have been Schubert then. Because somebody had Helite stuff already in their jackets, and Nicole was kind of talking a little bit about that.
I think it was Held, actually. I think it was. But Kevin said something that makes a lot of sense, especially like today. I wore my Helite vest back from work, but I tried to have a backpack over it. And it's not conducive to that. If they would actually make that vest in the configuration like Climb makes a vest that's got like water in the back and pockets for like adventure or off-road riding, that would be the perfect thing. So they actually build that thing to look more like, an adventure style vest with water and stuff in it, a bladder. That'd be great. It only makes sense to me that they would partner with more people to have the product.
We lost Todd.
Yeah.
Maybe it might have been a connection thing. I don't think he had a hard stop.
Took him out.
But as far as, I also think you're going to start to see helmets that in the neck roll are going to have a downward angled airbag as well.
Oh yeah.
To where, and these things would work in conjunction with whatever you have. But if you didn't have something in your jacket just to stabilize the neck, you'll start getting that in the helmet as part of what the neck roll is. Because really that'd be a good place to, hey, let's take out some padding and throw in an airbag there. I think that's a good spot to try to put it. Of course, not being a helmet designer and knowing the technical challenges that would go along with that, it's easy for me to say. But
yeah, I wonder if they could get any certification if they did that to their helmet, whether it's CINO or DOT.
I don't see why they wouldn't, because you're not actually changing the the shell of the helmet and the impact of it, especially because it's around the base of the neck, which at that point it's just for immobilization.
Where would you hide the CO2 cartridge? So that's the only thing.
I would have it right at the base of the skull, that because you got a flat area there about that wide, and that'd be a good place to put it, and you would never feel it and never know it. A lot of people put battery packs for their GoPros and all sorts of other recording things, or if they put a bunch of glowy crap on their helmet, that's where the battery pack goes, is right there at the base of the skull.
I think you're underestimating the size of these CO2 cartridges. I mean, this is
slightly.
non-small.
Is that 100? Todd, how many grams is that?
This is the 60 grams. So this is the smaller one. Chucks are even bigger. Chucks are like bigger around than that. They're like this kind of a log.
I actually have mine here.
And so this is still not putting this. Let's try it.
You could do this. This is for a bicycle. This whole.
But you also have to remember, though, if you're just doing something around your neck, you're not going to need as much air as you are around your whole vest.
Yeah. This is the one that's in mine. It's pretty formidable.
It's not very big at all compared to my hand.
But yeah, I kind of agree. I think that's going to be coming out. We actually covered that briefly. My co-host Larry covered that briefly on our last show. Just how we're seeing more and more of it, and it's going to be a trend that I would say I'd give them 2 more riding seasons, and some other manufacturer will have something.
Are you wearing a neck brace off road, Kevin?
No. Well, one, I haven't really ventured off road too much. That's my goal for this year, is to get when I actually get rid of when I burn down my tires, I'm actually going to get something that's a little bit more off road capable and start doing some off road stuff. Get back to my riding roots.
Don't buy Metzler Karus.
I'm thinking of K60s. Thinking some Scouts.
Just don't run them in the rain.
Well, that's the problem with ADV tires. It's like nothing is really good. It's if you want to go off road and on road, there's always a huge caveat, and it's what do you do?
Yeah, I find the Distanzias to be pretty not bad anywhere. I mean, they're not like sticky rubber in corners, but they're okay in corners. And if you're okay with a little walking around off road, they're fine. And honestly, if you have a 600-pound bike, you're going to be walking around a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, just 100 horsepower is going to do a little bit of the, you back it in now and again.
Yeah. But I mean, my main concern is it's like I could get a guitar and it'll do great on road and off road. It's going to last me 4,000, 5,000 miles.
Yep.
If I get something that's going to last me 10,000 miles, and then I'm sacrificing either something.
Yeah.
So
I know what you need. You need what I just put on.
Oh,
you
God.
Need a car tire.
No, we're not doing that.
Harley guy, help me out here.
Dunlop. That's all I can say is Dunlop.
Now, with that podcaster challenge we did, I've seen enough of the interstate and going straight for a while. I need to turn more.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I like that. The Kendas aren't too bad, and the Metzlers aren't too bad for if you're going to do. Well, I would go Kenda before I went Metzler, but I'll go Dunlop before I go anything else.
And there's a lot of guys that are talking about Shinko 804s and 805s being pretty decent too, with good wear and good traction. The TKC 80s were great, but I got 2,000 miles out of the rear. That's it.
Yeah,
I did like the TKCs.
Yeah, they're good tires. They work good. They work better on the pavement than the Karus do. The Karus just are not confidence inspiring at all. How big is your head, Chuck?
I have my head is not very big, but it's very, very oval.
Actually, that's the technical thing I'm really surprised wasn't immediately adopted by now that Joanne's not on Revzilla. I don't know if they're making their own or they missed the boat on that, because the lid picker thing is so freaking cool. Like, I
heard you guys talking about that on your episode, and I was like, wow.
Right?
It's really cool.
It's a game changer for selling helmets online. I mean, it is a huge difference.
Hey, Chuck, is that what that thing is you were just holding up?
Yes, this is the caliper for it.
No kidding.
And then they give you a little measuring tape.
Yeah.
And a head sock if you have a lot of hair.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
You just take 3 measurements with this thing and you send it in, and they send you out a whole Excel spreadsheet worth of helmets.
No, now, how much did the kit cost you?
It's like $15.
Oh, okay.
And then because they're clever, you spend the $15 on the kit, and they're like, hey, and If you want to buy a helmet, we'd be happy to give you $15 off.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm ordering these things. This is cool.
It's cool as shit.
What helmet company is that again?
New enough for what are they called? Motorcyclegear.com.
Motorcyclegear.com. But if you just go to livepicker.com, that's where you can order this.
Mm-hmm.
And it explains the whole process and stuff. And he was saying he was trying to get other companies like Revzilla or whoever to just kind of buy into it, and they could offer their own discounts and their own links. But no one seems all that interested in this thing.
I'm just shocked no one's jumped on that, because I mean, for as a consumer, what a completely different experience that is as a consumer. Like, that's something I'm hoping we see more of, because the whole fitting. I mean, okay, your local shop has stuff, which is great if you happen to wear the 3 brands your local shop has.
Sizes they have available.
Yes, in the sizes that happen to be there.
And even then, you're not entirely, you try on a helmet and you're like, yeah, this fits, I think.
Probably.
I had my head shape all wrong. I was just buying bigger helmets to compensate for it.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Chuck. Are they only limited to these? Because I'm looking and I'm seeing Ride, Bell, HJC, Icon, Nolan, Scorpion, Shoei, and that's it. So they've got to be in bed with the manufacturers as well to kind of have this data.
It's who they're selling, because what they're doing is they're
helmet to measure.
Yeah, they're measuring the helmets themselves for this data. So they're not getting data from the manufacturer. They're hand building this list. So it's all the helmets they carry.
If you get the tool and you go to some other site that is selling a Shark or a Nolan or something like that, and you kind of know that helmet is already an oval or extreme oval for Chuck's situation, that it helps, because at least you can identify how lopsided your head is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see, this is one of those things that's like it'll get better the more data they have. That's and I just the whole idea of here's the thing that makes it easy to spend money. Oh my God, why isn't everyone not jumping at this?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't exploded as much.
That's one of the nice things about going to shows too, is trying on helmets and being able to see what's relative and what's not. Oh, by the way, I got to climb Cryos too. They're carbon fiber.
You bought it?
No, I got Spencer's demo, and they're going to send me one. They've got a new line of gear coming out called 626 that they're going to be sending us the demo in February.
We need more people to send us stuff, Todd. Not enough people are sending us stuff.
Clearly.
Like this lid picker thing I bought where they
talk about it.
You're doing it.
Here's what we're going to do. Send us this, and we'll do this for you. We're going to talk about it on the show, and
you come off as much more serious in person than I do when I try to pitch that at people.
I have to admit, I've been shot down on a lot of that. Just we'll get back in touch with you. We'll talk about it and get back in touch. And
I'm like, hello, I'm doing a podcast and I'd like to talk about your stuff. Can I have something?
That's why we need me there. Hi. I'm from Wheel Nerds. We're a highly rated motorcycle podcast. Listeners all over the world.
TomTom, they shut me down constantly. I had send the stuff. No. Then I met the guy up at Americade, and then a week later, I had a GPS and an action camera.
That's how we got our Cena stuff. Is we actually met Rick at AIM, and yeah.
I'm probably going to try to reach out to Cena, and I thought about trying to reach out to both Cena and Cardo and see if I can do some kind of side by side thing just to see what I could do, but I don't know if that would play out well or not.
Don't talk about that. I'll send you some contact information, Kevin, direct for those people. But you just kind of the only people that can get away with doing those head-to-head things are guys that do Web Bike World.
Yeah,
he's
got 5 zillion people.
I'd like to get that guy on our show, Todd.
That guy's cool. Yeah.
The dude who does Web Bike World. It seems like he'd be kind of cool to talk to. Stop writing stuff down.
Here's a prediction. Electric motorcycles probably last 3 years, right? They've become a fad that every manufacturer is putting research behind. But how seriously are they going to actually release one because of the incredible range limitations you have from it?
Well, let me tell you something. If that Harley Davidson did 100 miles, I'd have one in my garage.
Well, and I was talking to
And
a couple
if they
guys.
sold them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and they're supposedly, coming to market eventually. But I would say that I would honestly look at a more hybrid system using fuel cells to charge the batteries to increase your range. I think that is probably going to be something we see, probably not this year, but 2-3 year time frame. Somebody will come up with a fuel cell based hybrid motorcycle.
I wonder when Piaggio is going to come out with that hybrid they keep talking about. They keep talking, ooh, we got a hybrid scooter, which, it's a perfect platform for a hybrid, right?
Yeah.
You get 8 gajillion, million, trillion. You go like around the world on a 2 gallons. But like they keep not releasing it.
I think what the industry needs for that is Elon Musk rides out a bike and says, "Welcome to the new Tesla bike."
Yeah.
That'll happen before anybody else releases their bike.
Well, I mean, electric's just, you're not ever going to get electric to be able to be charged in 5 minutes.
Nope.
So having something where you have some sort of combustion, and I think fuel cell is going to be the remedy to a lot of what people are wanting to do when they start getting into it. You can burn it quieter, you can burn it cheaper.
See,
and
for electric's commuting though. That's for me.
Yeah.
I don't need a half-hour charge. I show up at work and the thing can charge all day as long as for all I care. Yeah,
well, I got to be able to get to work. That's the problem. Because I can't get to work right now on a lot of these bikes.
Yeah,
Doesn't Tesla's like hypercharger or something do like an hour charge or something at their stations?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to have like
You have to have
their
a Tesla
customization.
shop there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tesla comes out with a bike, and that would be like a big deal.
Oh. Liza from the Motorcycles Misfits had the president of Lightning electric motorcycles on their show. And he was saying that within 2 years, it's going to be cost comparative with electric bikes, well, with their bikes and gas-powered bikes, where the recharge time is just as fast as gassing up your motorcycle.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
What?
There's some physics problems I can see.
Yeah.
To get the hypercharger, you're looking at 240 volts. You have to have 240 service to do that. Like Chuck was saying, that Tesla's their fast charge. What is it, Chuck? Like a half hour, I think.
It's really, it's a very small window. Yeah, an hour to a half hour to an hour, I think. And it's right now it's just at their dealer network where you can find them, but
right.
But it's also these bikes are still very expensive.
But I don't know a lot of fast food restaurants that if you walked in and said, "Hey, can I plug up my motorcycle?" that they'll be like, "Oh yeah, sure. Here's an extension cord."
oh come on, you live in the South. You could just go to someone's house and ask for an extension cord.
Like,
This
here you
is
go,
true.
hon.
This is true.
You live in Alabama, and in Alabama, I have eaten barbecue at a restaurant that was some dude's living room.
This is true. This is true. But once I get to, I don't know, Virginia, it starts getting a little bit more specific.
Yeah, I can see the electric. Yeah, they're going to have to do something to make them more practical. I've got electric charging stations at my work, and there's a whole bunch of line of them right close to the door. And there's a fair number of electric cars, actually, which is kind of cool. But I look at them every day, and I'm like, yeah, son bitch, and park in the back.
Why?
Well, most of them aren't used. It's parking spaces that are being eaten up. I love what they're trying to do. And like, if there was a Zero that was really cheap local, I might be tempted. But
we just need to go and like find a spot on your bike where the thing will just kind of hang like it's almost plugged in, and just like hang it there. And
Plug your bike in.
The brand is so weird. People might actually buy that. They don't know what to make of the sidecar. I'll plug it into the sidecar.
Just feed it into the motor somewhere. No one's going to look real close.
What's the cheapest electric car they make that's fully electric, not a hybrid?
Bet it's the Leaf, if I was to guess. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, I think it's might be the Leaf.
Because I'll tell you what, when Tesla announced that $30,000 car, there was a bunch of guys at work to put that $30 down on it.
Yeah, that's getting a little better. Yeah, the Leaf is $30,000.
So, and Tesla's car looks really great. There's a lot of cool.
Unlike the Leaf.
yeah, the Leaf does not.
What about the Chevy model, the Volt?
The Volt.
The Chevy Volt.
Yeah.
Nothing Chevy makes can be cheap. There's no way, no how.
It does look nice, though. I mean, it has a nice appeal to it compared to
It
the
looks
Leaf.
better than the Leaf. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's
that
the
one's
Prius.
35.
How much?
Prius is pretty nice.
The Leaf
Did
is
you
really-
say Prius is pretty nice?
I did.
Turn in your man card now. Turn it in.
All right, let me get it. It's back here. I can't reach it. Need some help.
The other thing that will save the electric bike is regenerative charging.
Hmm.
It charges itself while it's moving. Sort of like Tesla's cars.
As they're slowing down and stuff.
Yeah, but that screws up your range big time.
Just
Pick one.
math problems that need to be worked out.
Have you guys ridden the Harley yet?
The
No.
live wire?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm.
I have.
What'd you think?
Which one?
The live wire.
Oh, the live wire. No, I'm sorry.
He's just like, I ride
I'm
Harley.
excited. Yeah, I ride.
That's all.
Harley, I know Harleys. Oh my God, Chuck. this is
Finally,
zero.
something I can be relevant for. Yes, I've ridden the Harley.
Chuck, this is 0 for sale in town for $2,500.
2,500?
Yes,
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
It's stolen.
Let me guess. All the parts are there.
The parts are in a box.
It's teeny. It's clearly not a big. It's just like a little. It's like a tiny little like enduro looking thing. Huh.
You will need to have this tag on it.
Available now.
Not stolen.
Huh. Wow, that's interesting.
I bet it's like one of their first gen bikes or something.
I suspect so. It's a 2011, so it probably is. So it probably has like a here to the corner range or something.
Batteries are flat as shit.
Yeah. You'll need $2,500 of batteries.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the life of those batteries are supposed to be.
I don't know. I hope they can solve the physics problem because the just the notion of electric engine is so cool. I mean, just the torque all the time, and it just works.
That's
So small, so
We have at least one listener that's writing an angry email right now. Hi, Roland. He does not like the electric.
Well, I mean, the purist in me, I want to hear it. I want to feel the motor. I want to hear the motor and the engine and the RPMs. I want that connection, that visceral connection to my motorcycle. However, there's something about when I'm in certain locations, it would be nice just to turn that off and it's just instead of the motorcycle being my connection to what's happening, it's just me traveling through and hearing the sounds and hearing nature. That's nice too. If that's what you're looking for that day. For
Ted's
the most
sitting
part,
there going like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean quiet?
well, I mean, it's if I'm out in, I don't know, in the redwoods, right, up Washington area and upper California, I may not want a really loud bike. I just want to be able to enjoy it and soak it in. I felt the same way when I was out going out to in Vegas, heading out towards the Hoover Dam. Those just times where you're just kind of in awe of what's around you, and you get that flying feeling if you weren't necessarily connected by this big rumbling machine.
You cannot ride a Buell, sir. You will not have a good time.
Oh, I would have a good time. Don't worry about that.
You would have a good time right up until the part where you get to somewhere you want to be tranquil.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not often, but there are those times where those bucket list trips you want to take. Not every one of them do you want to shatter the serenity of the area you're in. Other times it's all you want to do. So it really depends on what you want to do on that day. But I see that being a benefit for some people.
save money driving to work.
Seems like screw that noise. I just man, fuck gas.
I drive 150 miles every day, so it's like
Wait, what?
150 is my trip to work.
Every day?
Well, 4 days a week.
Oh, Damn, dude.
152 and back from work, or just it's not one
round trip. Not
Still,
one.
damn.
See, I'm at 85 round trip, I think.
Yeah.
Todd, you're at what, 5?
No, my round trip's really big now. I'm up to like 15.
Mm-hmm.
My round trip 26 round trip.
Yeah, no, and I liked the bike. I thought it was kind of cool.
Some things are just too.
That was me, man. That was on YouTube.
Yeah, autoplay.
I don't want to
hate
know
that
what you're
crap.
watching right now. That's cool. You know,
Mhm.
Just on Livewire, the Harley Davidson Livewire. Yeah. I don't know. It's I like the technology. I do like the visceral stuff of the motorcycle a lot. That's why I have the Gucci. You know.
are they still doing? I mean, I remember the Livewire tour, but I don't remember hearing anything about the Livewire since then.
The last I heard was somebody asked one of the Harley guys on, this is probably about a year ago, what's up with the Livewire, is it coming out? And they said that as of right now, at that time, there was a high chance that it would eventually make it to production.
I had an interview with somebody from Harley Davidson, Jen Hoyer. She was the managing, marketing. And she was saying that Harley Davidson says within 5 years, the Livewire will be in Harley dealers.
All right, so Ted, I want to get your take on this because I got a really strong opinion about the Harley dealership culture. When the Streets came out, which it's not the same quality, fit, and finish as a Harley Davidson.
Not at all.
But it's an entry-level motorcycle. And in 4 dealerships I went into, and I portrayed myself as being a brand new guy, never ridden a motorcycle before. And I looked at Street 750. That's the thing. Every one of them, they said, "You don't want that." It steered me away from it.
Right.
I think that's the problem that Harley had with Buell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same problem.
I think you know what the thing is that, and Chuck, you can back me up on this, is that I think there was a personal issue going on between Eric Buell and Harley Davidson, so maybe they just weren't pushing it at all. They were intentionally steering people away from it.
Do you think that filtered down to a dealership?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the problem started at the dealership. It just too many times, especially the dealers around here that had them, they were just pushed off into a corner as far away from the front door and visible sections as you could get.
Look, the Harley dealer by me, it's a huge, huge deal. They have to have at least 100 bikes on their floor. And when they had Buells, there was 2. They had seen 2 in the store.
I mean, it was a different kind of customer that was coming in for the Buell.
Yeah, I went and looked at Ulysses when it came out, and the guy made me feel bad about asking about it.
Why? What do you do? Turn in your man card.
Yeah, he's like, you don't. He goes, come look at a Dynaglide. You don't want that thing.
It's named after classical literature. You don't want that.
In fact, the dealer by me is like, people go in, they look at the Streets, and then the guy quickly takes them over to the Sportster line. You want a beginner bike? Get this.
I mean, I can't imagine the margins the dealers get on the Streets are that great.
It's got a Harley tag on it, and the engine's decent. It's got a good engine in it. It's got a great engine, but the
chassis sucks. It's really cool. Yeah, I read both of them, and they were god awful on them.
Wow,
it was like riding an Indian cruiser, not Indian motorcycle. I mean, like an Indian-made cruiser,
or an actual Indian, right?
Those. They look nice. They're pretty.
It was like a really cheap bike. I mean, the 750 motor was nice, but
it sounded like a pocket watch.
Yeah. You know what it is? It was a bike. They made this bike for those people who were coming from anything else other than Harley Davidson into the Harley market. They wanted to try it because everything about this bike it's similar to other motorcycles outside of Harley's. It's got the signal on one side, and it just doesn't, like you said, it doesn't have the same fit and finish that your regular Harleys would.
Yeah.
That seems like a weird idea, though, that the bike you want to use to introduce to other people is your shitty one.
Well, you gotta remember that all their classes, like all the Harley dealers around me, have started doing their own MSF course, right? So that's something that they're all doing there. They're doing it on 500s, and they're trying to upsell people to at least go with the 750. If you don't go Sportster, if you want something just like what you just practiced on, well, let's get you something that can actually, handle a little bit more of the highway than what we just practiced on. Go with the 750. I've seen that push, but I'm not in a Harley dealer enough to kind of know what they're doing.
I just hope they don't kill. I hope that the live wire is survivable for them through the dealership network. I hope they train the dealers properly and they train the sales staff properly to say, look, it's not the same market and you're going to have people walking in here asking for this. Don't tell them not to buy it.
If they can manage to make it have a margin, I think they'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
But keep in mind for the dealer, they're like, I want to sell the bike with a margin.
As long as all the standard Harley accessories bolt onto this bike, I think it definitely has a chance, because that's where a lot of them are making their money, is adding everything to it.
Margin.
They got to get the sound generator on there to make the Harley sound.
Right. So, guys, we're kind of at 2 hours here. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, and let's plug our individual shows. Let's start with Kevin.
All right, throttledpodcast.com. We're a weekly show, and we kind of cover topics, go over news, and whatever else we can come up with that week. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Throttled Show.
Various adult dating sites.
Now, my wife made me take all those down.
So is it throttled.com should be like the main place to go for that?
No, throttledpodcast.com.
Throttledpodcast.com. Okay. Steve.
CafeRacerPodcast.com on iTunes, Instagram, Facebook, and the Twitters.
AshleyMadison.com.
AshleyMadison.com, and I think we're on
Ted.
Hi, it's Motorcycle Men Podcast. We're motorcyclemen.us, and it's me and my two brothers, and we talk Harleys, cruisers, and we talk about all kinds of bikes, not just Harleys, actually. And we have some cool interviews that we don't like to tell the wheel nerds about, because otherwise they'll steal them from us.
Dun, 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 dun.
Todd, you want to talk about us?
Absolutely. We're the Wheel Nerds. You can find us at wheelnerds.com. And we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Adult Friend Finder, we're all over the place. You can't get rid of us.
We're available for rent to you.
Yes. Well, and somebody actually tried to. You guys will love this. I'm going to close with this. Tell me if this offer sounds great to you. Somebody offered to broadcast our show on the internet in a set time slot for $100 a show.
Yeah, I got the same offer.
Did you really?
How many times did they call you? They called us a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't think we're going to pay for that.
You don't understand how this internet works, do you?
You wanted to pay them $100.
Right, we pay them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They have an app?
Yeah, it was. I got a call from a network, from one of these like podcast networks.
The Sportsman Hunting Network is who we got.
I'm like, no, we're not.
Free. Yeah.
Don't forget,
listeners, you don't have to pay $100 a month.
Unless you want, if you want to, send it directly to us.
Straight to Wheel Nerds.
Wheelnerds@gmail.com. Don't forget about Joanne and Christy, Motorific podcast. And I want to say hi to James and Chris at the Pace, who couldn't quite make it tonight. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Hopefully this gets out there and everyone can see it. And, let's do this again sometime.
This was cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
And remember, if you're only listening to one motorcycle podcast, you probably aren't getting enough time to cover your whole day at work. Get on the others. For Christ's sake. What are you gonna
If you are listening just one, listen to us.
We smell better than the other guys.
That's possibly true.
We have cookies.
We have cookies.
Watch, people are going. Everyone who listens, everyone within the sound of my voice, write to Steve at the Cafe Racer and demand your cookies. That's it for us. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Take it easy.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.